Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to a Nerd Tube Wrestling vid. We are the Wrestleheads here, and we are going to be talking about our top 10 worst gimmick matches in history. I am hosting because really I don't watch too much wrestling, so I compiled the list, and now these guys are all going to be completely surprised as to where these things come on this list, although we do have an idea on some of them. But I am joined, of course, by my normal compatriot in arms, Zamario. How you doing?
I'm fine, brother. How are you?
You know something, brother. D. Jose, right below me.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
And the Block.
I'm here, deep in the bowels of the boiler room.
So, guys, let's jump in. So, as I said, these guys have no idea what this list. I basically did a point system. They all sent me their list, and we compiled it. And now we will find out what officially
is the worst of all time.
Worst gimmick matches of all time. Don't add it. So, number 10 is going to be Texas Death Match.
I know that's going to piss a lot of the hardcore wrestling fans off, but it's true. Texas Death Matches are the worst. You know, all it is just like hardcore wrestling, but with more cowbell, baby. Because I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
So the cowbell makes it Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, if you want anything remotely Texas, stick a cowbell in there. yeah. How fucking stereotypical and unoriginal. Yes,
it's very world wrestling entertainment, you know.
Yeah. For sure. You know, I have not much to say on this. To tell you the truth, it wasn't in my initial top 10 because I never even contemplated this match. But it sounds stupid anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
Yeah,
it wasn't even on my list. And yeah, this is a stupid ass match.
Block, do you have anything to add?
Oh no, that they're stupid, and you don't even have to be a wrestler per se to be in it. It's just get tossed around and get exploded or get stuff, skin ripped or whatever. It's pass.
Yeah.
All right, number 9 is a chair match.
Yeah, so stupid.
This is compiled from your guys' lists.
Can we please just take a minute to rant on how fucking stupid gimmick premium live events are?
The tables, ladders, and chair matches are fantastic, and the chairs are really just to add to it, not to be the the tables and ladders on their own are great, especially ladders. But the chairs themselves are never really there to be the highlight. They're just there to be the supporting act to the other craziness. Mm-hmm. So to make it the highlight of a match, it just doesn't work. I mean, we've seen what people do with chairs. They usually like to put your head inside them and stamp on them, or put a body part inside them and stamp on them and stuff like that. You can't do fucking chair shots to the head anymore, which is the right thing anyway, and stuff like that. And recently, Edge has been doing his one-man concertos. I think that was the peak, the concertos by Edge and Christian. That was the peak, but as you can't do headshots anymore, it's just bollocks anyway. So yeah, fuck it. Chair matches are shit.
Yeah, chair matches are trash because I remember they did that between Batista and The Undertaker at the end of 2009. Batista low blows The Undertaker. Teddy the Turtle tag team match play along comes out and he's like, "Hey, playa, you hit the dude in the nuts. This is a chairs match. You can only use the chair, so we're restarting this match." And then The Undertaker proceeded to win anyway. It was so stupid. I hate
before I get on to like the way they use the chairs in chairs matches is like they're sword fighting with fucking chairs. It's so fucking stupid. I hate it. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have just done a musical chairs match. I mean,
for real, even that's more. They did that with Eugene on Monday Night Raw one time.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, Eugene.
Oh, I love Eugene.
Yeah.
All right, Block, what you got to add with the chairs match?
Well, if I may rant for a second, yeah, like I agree with you guys, like with the TLC, that's a good concept, or any kind of street fight where there's like legit weapons, but you cannot have matches where it just focuses on a single item you'll find around the ring, because then you're going to have ring bell matches and steel step match. Like, it's like, all right, you're really stretching it.
Lily
announce table matches. Yeah,
Lily and Garcia. Hey, Lillian, the first person to grab you by the hand and walk you up the ramp wins.
It's just ridiculous. And so, like in a chair match, you can only use a chair, correct? So if you use the ring steps, you get disqualified. It's like that's stupid.
Even though it's a no DQ, but yeah,
it makes no sense. So
Yeah.
they're dumb. Chair matches are dumb.
Number 8, buried alive match.
Oh my god!
like this is like the next level of the casket match, isn't it?
Mhm.
You know, and I think Taker lost quite a lot of these, I believe.
Taker,
Yeah.
I think only won maybe 1 or 2 of them. I don't think he's won any more than that. He won like the first one,
And he
but
won.
then I think he lost like
He beat AJ Styles as well in that.
Boneyard match, which is basically a buried alive match.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for me, the most infamous one is the one where he was American Badass and he fought Vince McMahon, and then obviously Kane backstabbed him and he got buried alive, and that was the rebirth of the Dead Man from then onwards. But it's a stupid concept, you know. It's over the top. Like you're basically saying, yeah, we're gonna have a match where we're gonna kill someone, but then they'll be back next week, like AJ Styles. You know, so it's so fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, and they did that with the Undertaker too. Like the Undertaker would lose a buried alive match, he'd be back the very next week like nothing happened. Like, you're buried alive, go away for a while.
How dare you throw dirt on me?
I had to take a shower afterwards.
Although it was cool when they did like a tag match between, I think, Big Show and the Undertaker versus Rock and Sock, and Big Show just yeeted Mankind like all the way from the stage to the gravesite. That was a cool moment. But other than that, this match is so stupid.
Yeah.
Number 7. This is I'm trying to remember who put this one on here, but it made it. King of the Mountain match. TNA's King
that
of
was
the
me.
Mountain.
That was me.
Was you. Okay.
TNA, King of the Mountain match. It's so stupid. Like, it's like, okay, so you have to fight with a guy, you pin the guy, they go into a penalty box, and then after like 5 minutes or whatever it was, the guy that like gets the pinfall can climb the ladder with the belt, and then they have to hang the belt to win. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
So it's a reverse ladder match, but bad.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse ladder match, but bad.
But
I
with
vaguely
pinfalls.
remember it, but then again, I'll go with you guys. Yeah, it sounds shit.
No, I remember this match now. I don't mind the reverse ladder match aspect, but yeah, the penalty box thing is just kind of like, what?
Yeah, pinfalls in a ladder match makes no sense. It's like you're kind of, if you're going to make it like a reverse ladder match, you just make it a reverse ladder match.
Yeah.
But they totally, TNA being TNA.
I forgot, were you locked in a penalty box? Or
yeah, for 5 minutes.
Okay,
yeah, you're locked in a penalty box for 5 minutes after you get pinned.
Did anyone ever try to bust
there's
out?
usually like, what, 5 or 6 people in the match, though?
Yep. There's like 5 or 6 people in the match, and then like most of the time we would always have a new champion. Very rarely did anyone retain, unless your name was like Jeff Jarrett, because, you know, Jeff Jarrett, LOL.
It's a good way of getting some rest as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sting, I think, if I remember right, Sting spent some time in the penalty box during the match. I actually do remember these matches from back when I watched TNA back in the day, and I thought it was. You're right. I thought it was an interesting concept, but you're right. It's kind of like you pin somebody for a penalty. Like it feels like they're trying too hard to make it gimmicky. You know, like I agree with you on that. Like I'm just like this just feels really good because let's do a one-on-one King of the Ring. Or not King of the Ring, King of the Mountain match.
Yeah, it would make more sense.
You lock him in the penalty box for 5 minutes and you hang there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, there's the finish of the match. Like,
hey, bro, it's almost like the pinfall should have finished the match.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anything else to add?
I don't think so.
No. Did anyone ever try to break out of the penalty box, or they just
I think they did. I think people tried to get out, and then the refs were like, no, you can't do that. And then they had Earl Hebner actually fucking help Jeff Jarrett win a King of the Mountain match once, which made no sense.
Number 6 is going to be Zam's favorite match of all time. Can we guess?
I'm going to say a tuxedo match.
I can't even guess, to tell you the truth.
Punjabi prison match. Come on.
Oh, of course, I forgot. Of course, it's got to be the Punjabi prison match. Now, look, I actually don't mind this match, but at the same time, it is fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong. Some of my picks are not because I think they're terrible, but I do think because some of these matches I've watched in the past have been enjoyable,
Mhm.
but I will still acknowledge how fucking stupid it is.
Yeah, the concept is stupid.
Yeah, and the Punjabi prison matches. Yeah, we're gonna, bamboo and oh god, and you got the most the least mobile wrestler being involved in this match. Ali. You know what I mean, it's his fucking match the same way Buried Alive is Taker's match. Oh god, this is stupid beyond belief, but I will be honest with you, I've had a good time watching these matches at the same time.
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys.
It's in a so bad it's good kind of way. That's how I look
Yeah.
at the Punjabi prison match. Like, it was like we watched the highlights of Batista and Great Khali. Why, I'll never know. But yeah, it's one of those matches where it's like, yeah, WWE will do literally anything to try to sell tickets and pay-per-view buys. Premium
Especially in
live
India, like, I mean, it's their third biggest market.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. The Punjabi prison match is so stupid. It's just basically an extra added on cage. And then if you don't get out within a minute, the door shuts, you can never get out. So you're forced to climb the fucking cage twice. That's how it goes.
I mean, I wonder why they felt the need to make Khali have a specialty match anyway, to make him more of a threat, or
because he's a Hall of Famer, damn it.
Yeah. Cheeto was stunned to learn that when we told him that Great Khali is the WWE Hall of Famer.
I was flabbergasted.
He was like, "Oh,
God, I need to see his Hall of Fame speech. That must be hilarious."
Thank you, WWE.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I want to see the image of John Cena standing there in the front row crying and clapping.
Thank you, John Cena.
Next one we're gonna do is any type of thing on a pole match.
Bro. I created the Attitude Era. I created you. And for this video, for the views and the ratings, we are going to talk about anything on a pole match. The best pole match was the Viagra on a pole match, bro. It was the greatest pole match in the history of pole matches.
Well, WWE loves to, because let's be honest, there's a lot of like dickheads who are who easily fall into patriotism, who love wrestling, and WWE knows this, so that's why they fucking go down the patriotic angle and put an American flag versus a Canadian or whatever, fucking Iraqi flag or whatever. You know what I mean, and just get people that way. And these matches, I despise these matches because there's nothing worse for me as somebody who's not American to have American good guy versus anyone who's not American bad guy. I think it's a really xenophobic way of doing things in a company called World Wrestling Entertainment or World.
Well, let's not forget WCW's fuckery with the pinata on a pole match, because that was actually a thing that happened.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
They had like the cruiserweights go out there and fucking Ed Ferrara, which I still have not forgiven him for this. He mocked JR's like Bell's palsy during that match, and I was like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
no,
come on, bro. Yeah.
As an American growing up and watching this stuff, I mean, I agree with you, Zam. Like, I even thought back then, as an ignorant American child, that like it was kind of effed up. I'm like, why are we making the Canadian? Like, my first matches of the pole matches was like the flag on a pole match or whatever, where it was like United States versus Canada when it was like DX, I think, in the Hart Foundation.
Yeah,
there might have been other ones, but that's the first one that sticks out was Shawn Michaels doing the the stuff with the flag and everything like that. So I was just like, wow, why are we demeaning other nations like this? Like, this makes, I get it, they're degenerates, but it's like, that's like, that's a bit much. I'm
and then they had Shawn Michaels go out there and hump the Canadian flag, and that gave no fucks. It was like,
I know that wasn't a part of the match, but it was a part of that whole gimmick. Like, and it's just like, come on, guys. Like, I felt bad for Baby Zam when I was baby Cheeto. So
I remember when, like, sorry, just to go on a little tangent here. I remember when they fucking made Sergeant Slaughter and an Iraqi sympathizer. Yeah, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, they're really going full. They're going full on here, and Sarge got death threats and shit like that.
And here's the thing. Here's a fact that a lot of people don't know. Vince wanted Sarge to burn the American flag, and he looked at Vince like, motherfucker, are you crazy? I am not going to burn the American flag. We're not doing that. and he said, "Let me
Yeah.
burn a Hulkamania shirt." That's like next to Americana, or it was.
Yeah,
at the
that's
time.
probably at that point in time. It was as close as you could get to the American flag.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, just to be a bit controversial. I'm glad for the sake of fucking controversy he did, because at the end of the day, it's just a fucking piece of cloth. You know what I mean? People get too up their own asses over flags and fucking anthems when there's way more important things in this world. So
you're 100% correct.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
At the same time, if this is more of just a
it's entertainment as well.
I understand people like protesting and like burning flags and stuff like that's fine. Like you can do that. Like that is your constitutional and God-given right to do these things. But like I mean, if you're just doing it for a story angle, and especially Slaughter, if he's not okay with it, like
you don't do it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like it's not worth it for a story. Now, if someone's actually protesting and they feel in their heart that they actually feel this way, then that's fine. But
yeah, because I'm not an overly patriotic person. Like people could tell me like America sucks. I'm like, yeah, America sucks. Our government sucks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Our government. Yeah.
It's like to
London here pretty soon. So
yeah.
I'm in a room with Zam. We're gonna get bunk beds.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
We're gonna.
Yep.
Say poll, anything on a poll. So it always seems like they never end in like a pin or from grabbing the actual item. It's always like someone runs in and they drop on the top rope and their balls get hurt and like it's always like that ending. That's always the ending.
Well, and it's always like, and there's always that weird ending where it's like somebody comes in and like the ref's knocked out, so he doesn't see who grabs the item first or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that too. That's the other cliche. And another thing is, has anyone on these matches? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, is it kind of similar with chair matches where if you use, let's say it's a pole on a pole match, right? Like, or a nightstick on a pole match. If you use a chair, do you get disqualified?
I know, like that's what doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so number 4 is going to be the I Quit match.
Oh my God! So
look, submission matches are good, but I think I Quit matches ruin careers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I hate it because they always fight. There's always people like you fight John Cena or you fight. Now I'm losing my train of thought on who, but like people like John Cena who like or Mankind who are like they never quit. And then of course there's got to be some bullshit gimmick where they're
tomfoolery.
Yeah, tomfoolery where it's just like they're like like.
I said that in a pre-recorded segment. I didn't actually say I quit.
Yeah, like that's why it's like the good guys will never say I quit, like unless they are coerced to. So like, what was John Cena?
Well, Rey Mysterio did against Chavo Guerrero famously on SmackDown,
and that was when Ray was never the same because when he I think he went to go do like a Bronco Buster or a leg drop and his leg got caught in the fucking scaffold thing and Chavo just obliterated like Ray's fucking leg. Ray was never the same after that match because he slowed down.
He's always had knee problems,
yeah. But he always has had knee problems before then.
Yeah. But that's my problem with this one is that when you have a good guy versus a bad, now it'd be funny to watch like two good guys go at it or two bad guys fight.
It'd be different. Yeah,
it'd be different, but it's like there's always a good guy and a bad guy, and the only way you're getting the good guy to technically, except for Ray, say I quit is like I think I remember somewhere somebody holding somebody hostage, like they were going to throw somebody off the
yeah,
or something, and they're like say I quit or I'm going to throw him or something like that. I feel like there was some, or they're going to DDT somebody, and they said say I quit or I'm going to whatever,
Yeah. I'm gonna go beat up your dog if you don't say I quit.
Like I just never, as I said.
Sorry, but what I didn't like was like you beat the fuck out of someone and then the referee would put a microphone in their face and say, you quit now? Do you quit? I mean, this motherfucker's not even in a submission hold. Yeah. Why would he just say, yeah, I quit like that?
Yeah, he's in a coma or something. He's not gonna
I can't even watch Royal Rumble 99 anymore. I can't watch that one. I'm like, nope. Knowing what we know about concussions and CTE now and that kind of stuff, I can't watch that match.
And the other thing is like, okay, they're doing, submission holds and whatnot, but they'll also do crazy things. Like, I don't know if it was Big Show. Sometimes they'll do crazy things where they'll like be throwing wrestlers through spotlights. They won't quit for that, and give up the match. But, oh no, they're put in a sleeper hold. I quit.
Yeah, I quit.
It doesn't make sense.
So,
so
yeah, I agree. That match, as I said, that they had a couple of those while I was watching back years ago, and I just every time they said it's going to be an I Quit match, I'm like, if it's a good guy versus a bad guy or a face,
You
versus
already
a
know
heel,
how it's going to go. Yep.
yeah, like yeah. I just
they
it's so
had a pay-per-view, a submission pay-per-view, didn't they?
Yep.
yeah.
And the
I
I
think that was Orton Cena, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Orton and Cena for the like 46,000th time they
Yeah.
fought.
If Cena's in it, then I know he's not quitting.
Yeah.
Especially unless he gets a hostage situation, he's not
Yeah.
fucking quitting. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm trying to remember what that's the match I was thinking of, but I thought like
Wasn't it like an anything goes match or some such shit? And then like Orton gave up like after getting handcuffed or
Didn't
I
he
remember
duct tape him to the ring post, or was that Batista?
that
Cena
was
duct taped
Batista.
him.
Yeah, that was Batista. He duct taped Batista and Batista quit due to duct tape. That was when I Quit match meant absolutely nothing. It was like, okay, duct tape is the most like dangerous weapon in wrestling now.
Yeah. So fuck I Quit matches.
I really don't. As
I'm
I
happy
said,
with people submitting, but fuck I Quit.
Yeah, submission matches are fine with me, but I mean, that I quit. It's basically a submission match. It's just you can quit at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. All right, so you guys ready for number 3? We're in the top 3, guys.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be cage gimmick matches. So we're not talking about cage matches. We're talking about any cage match that has like a gimmick. Now I did want to ask you guys because I thought this was odd. Do you consider a Hell in a Cell a cage gimmick match, or is it its own thing?
I consider Hell in a Cell a cage match, just with a roof on it.
A cage gimmick match, or just
I consider it a
cage. It's a bigger cage, isn't it?
It's a bigger cage. Yeah, I consider it a cage match.
Yeah, it's a cage with a roof.
But
Kind of like Elimination Chamber is basically a cage.
There is a significant difference. You can exit the cell and you don't win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the one. But usually with cage matches, you exit the cage, you win.
Yep.
And that's the only difference there. So it's a bit hard to call it a cage match, come to think of it from that perspective. But just to go on regarding cages, the one cage match I hated was the barbed wire steel cage matches.
Oh, yeah.
You exit from the fucking door, yet these dickheads are always climbing. Always climbing. I
gotta climb to get out. Like, there's the fucking door.
Yeah, there's a fucking door there. But look, I forgot there's barbed wire on the fucking case. I can't climb out. Why don't you just take the fucking door then, you fucking idiot? I fucking hate that. I wish they locked the door to it personally and they make it climb out all the fucking time. You know, that's the only way I could take a cage match seriously.
So what was the in WCW? What was a 3-ring cage match?
Oh my god!
Well, it was at World War III, but was it what was the match called?
It was like WCW Nitro, and that was the one where I think
2 rings together.
They did like
2 rings together. Like
2 rings? I thought it was 3.
No. What it was 1 ring, and it was like, okay, picture a Hell in a Cell with another mini Hell in a Cell on top of it, and then the belt on the like top part of the cage. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. It really went for crazy there. It feels like a Vince Russo special.
Yeah, it was like a hell. Like, okay, YouTube that, or Google it, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
No, I know, but I thought it was different. I thought it was just.
You're thinking of War Games, probably.
Oh, that might be War Games. Yeah, okay.
You might be thinking of War Games.
But I still consider that a cage gimmick match. Like,
is that
War
the one
Games
with
is
the
a cage
3-tiered cell? What was the one with the 3 tiers? Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I remember that. They're like fucking rodents in a fucking cage. You know what I mean? It's so stupid. All rolling around in there. I swear there were 2 rings as well.
War Games is the one with the 2 rings.
Yeah, War Games. I'm looking at it now. War Games has 2 rings.
God, it's so bad. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, but I'm going on a tangent here. But yeah,
we're talking about cage gimmick matches. I mean,
and that's another one where the I Quit thing can come in, because I remember when, like, in '97, when like Kurt Hennig joined the 4 Horsemen, and then he turned his back, and they're like, "We're gonna, slam the door on Ric Flair's head unless you guys say I quit." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, just do it, because we know you're gonna do it anyway."
Yeah, exactly.
And the NWO won the damn match anyway. It went nowhere. It meant nothing.
Barbed wire match. No, that's not a cage match.
Barbed wire still cage match.
That was one time they did that in WWE, and they never did it again.
It's so stupid, man. Dangerous, stupid, and illogical. What's the point? I mean, it's on the fucking top. I mean, you're not going to be wrestling up there, are you? You know what I mean? So it just means that you can't climb out. well, there's a fucking door there, so no problem.
Also going off cage matches. So cage matches and usually Hell in a Cell are supposed to be a culmination of feuds, but they overused them. Like it's supposed to be the end of a feud, not just some like throwaway.
And yet they're doing another Hell in a Cell pay-per-view this year, and it's like, and they also painted the damn thing red. Like, why is the Hell in a Cell red? I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of.
Make it hell in it, but it's still stupid.
Make it tie-dye.
What's the one cage match in TNA that has like the circle on the top?
The 6 sides of steel. That's what that is. 6 sides of
steel, yeah. Yep. I consider that a cage match because technically it's a...
Yeah, technically it's a cage match.
Because you can climb out the top, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you get somebody who's like huge in there, like they ain't crawling out there. I mean, they even botched that on the, what was it, when Hogan...
I saw it, they were exhausted. Yeah, you kind of like, I'm upside down there, like they're climbing up there, which is hard enough. And then they're upside down, and just to crawl at the top.
There was that cage match in TNA too, the one where Hogan showed up. It was that orange freaking cage. Yeah, I remember that one. It was the one where Jeff Hardy turned up in TNA.
Sanjay Dutt was supposed to crawl out, but he couldn't make it. And then Jeff Hardy came down and jumped on top of the cage. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember what they called it. They called it the Terror Dome. That's what that is.
Yeah, the Terror Dome.
The Terror Dome.
From a wrestling match ended up being American Gladiators, and it was just so fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid. Yeah, I mean, you wanted to hear that American Gladiators music.
Where's Glacier?
And he's got motherfuckers. I just can't do it. They just can't get out. It's so hilarious. Yeah, Sanjay Dutt failed so many times. Yeah, it's exhausting watching. Of like, all right, you know what? Just don't do it anymore. Come up with a plan B because this is not happening.
And then they hit Jeff Hardy's music. Jeff Hardy comes out and just beats the fuck out of everybody, and then he's like, I'm just gonna sit here vibing my head like while I'm sitting here chilling on the cage.
Yeah. So I do. In regards to cage, I know we're not saying cage matches themselves are bad. We're saying the gimmick ones. But which one did you guys prefer the best? The big blue bars cage matches, or like the actual like
the bars,
the bars easily. Brett Nolan is the greatest steel cage match of all time.
Going back to the Punjabi cage match, it was actually a throwback to those bars.
Yeah,
because he's designed.
Yeah, but there was way too much in the way with those.
You couldn't see shit.
They changed it to the fencing because you don't get as much damage when you're throwing people into the cage. You're throwing them into metal, like into that fencing, which is very flexible, can absorb the shock a lot easier. You know what I mean? Your body can absorb it a lot easier. So yeah, that's why they went down that route. But yeah, I prefer the bars every day of the week.
Yep.
Yeah, I prefer Kennel from Hell matches too.
All right. Anything else to add about gimmick cage matches? Was there any? Wasn't there an electric cage match or something like that?
TNA. Yep.
Man, they had some bad matches. All right, you guys ready for number 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 is going to be, if I do not win this match, I will set myself on fire. The Inferno match.
This, for me, is arguably the most dangerous match of the lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in our top 10 so far, because you can't be fucking with fire here, yeah? Fire is unpredictable. It's around the ring. This was Kane's gimmick match, by the way, and it's like you can't enjoy the match because you're too worried that something's going to fuck up, and that was the problem with it. And we saw on the Dark Side of the Ring documentary where they had that particular Inferno match, and then the fucking ring literally caught on fire, and I think Sabu's uncle was caught in the middle of it. The shake.
I thought that was how he died, but luckily he made it out.
He made it out, I mean, he almost became a fucking, well done kebab, So it was just really, it's a really like on a serious note. This sort of match, I never want to see it again. Not for old content, not for nostalgic sake. It's just a stupid concept, and it shouldn't be done. Don't fuck with fire. You can, don't fuck with fire. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't try. This is don't try this at home.
Yeah, I don't mind like the fire coming out of the ring posts and stuff like that, but no, you're like during entrances.
That's different.
Like in an actual match and then actually catching someone on fire, like that's. I mean, like that really has to be in a controlled environment, like in a movie set. Like, and even that's technically dangerous.
It should have been a one and done with Undertaker and Kane at Unforgiven '98, and then they never do it again because they never top that because they've done Inferno matches since. And I remember when MVP got burned bad, like he had to be out for.
Wasn't it on his back?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing photos of that back in the day.
He was wearing like one of those full sort of suits at the time. Sometimes these guys are just wearing their regular outfits, which is just underwear. You know what I mean? They're exposing so much of their skin to potentially getting burnt. Even this was not even a fucking Inferno match, but remember that time where the pyrotechnics gave Undertaker third-degree burns?
Oh yeah,
and he ran into the ring literally. He was like walking at fucking lightning pace by his standards. None of that slow Undertaker, but it kind of shook him.
Yep.
And he wasn't able to do a slow walk to the ring like he would usually do. So yeah, don't fuck with fire. It's just so stupid, man.
Yeah, the Inferno match, that's something I don't care if we ever get it back. I'm like, nah, because I know a lot of people are like, they need to bring back the Attitude Era. So basically what you're telling me is you want concussions and people getting burned and lawsuits out the ass.
I actually, like, for me, I'm actually not a huge fan of the Attitude Era. I mean, I'm not a big Stone Cold fan. I wasn't a Rock fan. I mean, they're great on the mic. They're great in segments. Don't get me wrong. But I was more of a WCW person when it came to the Attitude Era. Was there great banger stuff in the Attitude Era? Yeah. And there were some great matches in the Attitude Era.
A lot of it is overrated, though. A lot. Really overrated.
Like the promos and the segments were bigger than the actual matches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the promos and segments you remember more than the actual matches because I can't even name you a match that happened like in 2000 on Monday Night Raw because I don't even remember any of those.
Yeah.
But I can remember like when Y2J first showed up in The Rock.
Well, everybody remembers that. That was like the biggest letdown. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Jericho, but that was like they built that up. We thought Hogan was coming back at that point. All right, so So before we get to number one, let's run through quickly through the honorable mentions. If you guys have anything, just jump on in really quick. But if you don't have anything, I mean, these matches are these are the ones that did not make the list, but were on your guys' list, at least in one form or another. So these are in no particular order. I'm just going through the list of everything we didn't talk about. The San Francisco 49ers boxing match.
That was basically, I found out what that was. They called it like a San Francisco 49er boxing match, but it wasn't a boxing match. It was another variation of stupid shit on a pole. And how it went down, I remember the finish of this. The finish was the belts were hanging in these fucking crate things, and the crate fucking fell off the pole. The announcer goes to pick it up. Booker T just grabs it from the announcer after the announcer hands it to him, and that's how it ends. And I'm like, God, that's so stupid. And you want to know the sad thing? That was WCW's 15th world title change within 6 months.
Bloody hell.
Yep.
No wonder they fell apart.
Yep.
Good Lord, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here now. This is. I don't know why this is on here because we all know that this is our favorite match of all time. Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
I just heard Judy Bagwell and I'm like, I'm not interested.
Yeah. That was a meme before memes were a thing. Like that's probably like one of the first things I remember like going viral when like YouTube and all that became a thing and people were talking about like the worst gimmick matches, and they had, I think, Chris Kanyon and Buff Bagwell in a feud, and they were like, this match is now a Judy Bagwell on a forklift match, and that's probably the most thing I remember about it. It just sounds so fucking random and so stupid.
I'm going to challenge my boss to that at work.
Yeah.
All right. Kennel Block, were you going to add something or?
Oh, I was just going to say I'm going to challenge my boss at work to that match of Judy Bagwell and a
forklift match.
Next one is Kennel from Hell match. I don't remember this one. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
You don't want to.
You're not a wrestling fan if you haven't seen it.
You don't want to see it. Okay, so this falls.
When and what happened? I don't remember.
This falls in the category of cage matches, but picture it like so stupid. Okay, so there's like.
That's not hard to picture.
There's like Rottweilers around the ring that are supposed to attack.
Oh, I have seen this one.
Yeah. Rottweilers around the ring that were supposed to attack Al Snow and the Big Boss Man on site. They go out of the ring and the dogs don't do shit.
They just poop.
Yeah, they piss
I
and shit
remember.
everywhere. Yeah, this could have easily been number one had we really sat down and thought about it. But yeah, I don't know why this is on there.
I'm glad you brought this up. I have no idea about this. I'm going to YouTube this as soon as we finish this
No,
shit.
no, no,
Yes,
no,
yes.
no.
I have to. My
You should
curiosity,
see-
he's got the best of me, dude. I need
It's
to
like
see
Kurt
this.
Angle versus
Okay.
Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's what
Once
it is.
we get off air, dude, let's do a watch along of this
Yeah,
shit.
fair enough.
I want to see what your reaction is to this.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is blindfold matches.
Oh my god, easily.
Well, I remember WrestleMania 7.
Yeah,
Jake the Snake Robert versus the model Rick Martel, and Jake Roberts put his hand under the mask to adjust it, and then you could see a bit of his hand through the fucking mask. So you realize it wasn't blindfolded. He wasn't blindfolded all along. It was see through. You know, he gave the game away by just adjusting it like that. And so that concept was really stupid. And I also remember how he would like be pointing around and listening for the fans to say yay or no or yay or no.
yep. Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Marco Polo.
Such a stupid. I mean, that was like really like that's a proper PG era match. You know what I mean? To get all the fucking marks involved.
And I remember when they did like a Raw roulette thing, and Triple H had to defend the world title against D'Lo Brown in a blindfold match. Yes, that actually happened. That was a real thing. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Exploding ring match. I've seen the ring fall apart when like the Big Show superplexes people, but
Picture it like a landmine death match, like landmines around the ring, and if you fall into it, they explode.
It's usually
like,
just clouds of smoke.
explode? Like
like parts of the ring and shit like explode. Like look up Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's like mini sticks of dynamite, like quarter. I don't know. It definitely does some damage. It burns.
Japanese wrestling matches of the 90s and 80s, they did that sort of shit because they were always trying to go that next level and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. You know, you sometimes see it in deathmatch wrestling as well nowadays because they need to get a reaction out of people, and what better way than blowing up the fucking ring or blowing up parts of the ring.
And this is definitely second danger. Actually, no, this is actually tied with Inferno matchup shit that I
agree.
Do not recommend.
This is stupid.
Yep.
Next one is last rites match.
Casket match. Casket match. It's a casket match, but you have to put your opponent in the hearse.
Whose gimmick is it? Oh, it's Undertaker's.
It's Undertaker's.
How many gimmick matches does this man have?
We could probably make a top 10 out of Undertaker gimmick matches. I mean, technically, Hell in a Cell would be a Taker gimmick match too, because Shawn Michaels and Taker was the first.
It started off as a Taker match. It's because other people have fought in it as well.
Well, yeah, I know, but still, like, I mean,
it was a Taker match initially.
Yeah, Taker was a big boss man at WrestleMania.
You could throw the Inferno match in there as well, even though it's Kane's. You could throw that in there as well.
Anything involving bikers is probably Takers too.
Barroom brawl match, and all that sort of shit.
Boiler Room is squarely on Mankind.
The Concrete Crypt match with the Undertaker and the Dudleys at Great American Bash 04 could also be an honorable mention. That one, that was the one.
We're not doing worst matches. We're doing worst gimmick matches.
But they stuffed Paul Bearer in a fucking cement crypt concrete.
Yeah, remember he killed Paul Bearer as well.
Killed him.
I'm sorry, Paul. I was supposed to save you, but I'm going to kill you now instead.
Yep,
and then
that was
it later on.
Yep.
So stupid.
Next one is I don't know the flag match. Is this like a?
We've already talked about this.
Pole match, basically. Yeah. So
pole match, flag match is the same.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know if that was different. You guys sent me the list, and so I just flag match. So, we already talked Buried Alive, didn't we?
Yeah.
I didn't put a star by it because it was on the list. Queensberry Rules match.
Yeah, this
Regal gimmick match.
Yeah, this is like as somebody who's British, and I saw like this was something brought along by William Regal, and he had the Duchess of Queensberry there as well. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? This is so stupid, and he just basically made the rules up as he went along, which I don't remember what the rules were, but it was such a stupid fucking match. It was like one of these fucking.
Wasn't it like you could only do? It was one of those matches where they changed the rules as you go along. Like there's like round 1 you can't do this, or round 2 William Regal could do this, but you can't. Like that type of shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, there are actually Queensberry rules, but it's to do with boxing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Not to do with wrestling. But obviously, because it's associated with the Brits and stuff like that, throw William Regal in the mix and just do what the fuck you want with it. Because as far as Vince is concerned, Americans just won't know shit about this sort of stuff. And you know what? I'm a British person. I don't know shit about it either.
Yep.
So yeah.
Strap match.
I actually don't mind these. I personally don't think they're too bad. It's something you would see in a Mad Max movie. You know what I mean? With two people fighting to the death, so to speak. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it can get a bit innovative. I remember a really good one between Eddie Guerrero and JBL.
That was when JBL won the title.
Yeah, I do remember that
one. Really good match. That was a good match, as far as I was concerned.
Well, it's on someone's list, so
yeah.
Stone Cold versus Savio Vega was a pretty damn good strap match too. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Any holiday themed match.
Miracle on 34th Street fight because Christmas. 4th of July street fight because
Thanksgiving. I'm gonna throw mashed potatoes at you. Oh, I get a 3 count.
Food fights and shit like that. Yeah, so stupid.
Yep, so stupid.
Here's one that I actually agree with being on the empty arena matches. It's
oh my god,
crowd. It's a pinfalls count anywhere with nobody in the crowd.
And that Rock versus Mankind was cheesy at the end where they did the camera angle where he's
getting,
that was they should.
I honestly did enjoy that finish though. I thought it was funny, but
it was funny.
But the rest of the match was just like pinfalls count anywhere. Okay.
During COVID, when they had to be a bit more innovative with some of the matches they had, they had that was it a ladder match in the WWE?
Didn't they do that with like the tag titles in a ladder match or some shit? Yeah, I think they did.
Well, but that match when Otis ended up winning it, I believe.
Oh yeah, the Money in the Bank when they went to Stanford and they did that type of. That was actually.
Have you ever seen that film, A Mad Mad World? It kind of reminded me of that, of everyone just trying to chase something and they're all running all over the building and stuff, and then people like Rey Mysterio gets thrown over the fucking building. He's not dead. He'll be back next week. But so stupid, man. Oh god.
AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan fighting in Vince's office, and he looks at him like, "What the fuck are you two doing here?"
Oh yeah, Brother Love coming out of the toilet after taking a shit. You know what I mean? He's like, what the
fuck? How long have you been down there?
All right, guys. So that's it for our honorable mentions. You guys ready for numero uno?
Yep.
And I think we can all agree on this one, and I've definitely got something to say on this one. Number one of our worst gimmick matches in history, not even WWE, all of history, are degradable women matches.
I know a lot of people want the Attitude Era to come back. This is one of the reasons, possibly the number one reason why I don't. Yep. Because bra and panty matches, what did they do for the women? Nothing but make them objects. And
I agree.
It took the women years to actually be taken to a somewhat respectable level in like more recent times. But yeah, bra and panty matches, it's just so, prepubescent boys can lose their fucking minds and grown men that, get all excited. It doesn't do anything for anybody. It just makes the women look cheap as hell. And that's no disrespect to them. It's on, the promoter and the bookers that come up with this type of shit. And I don't care for these matches at all.
The one great thing about the WWE now is that they respect women wrestling more than ever. Mm-hmm. And even though you have got very good looking women who still do it, you have got a variety of different types of women who are athletic but not necessarily the best lookers or whatever. And that's commendable to the WWE. Only wanted models initially. Now they're getting the right sort of people who and make them into proper stars, regardless of what they look like. And I'm liking the way the WWE is going. But I just will also throw in not just degradable women matches, but just like sort of closed matches in general, like ball gown matches, tuxedo matches, where you got fucking Howard Finkel for fuck's sake.
Howard Finkel and Harvey Whippleman. Yep.
Yeah, when you got them in a match, it's so fucking stupid. But going back to Brian Panties and stuff like that, I'm really happy it's no longer like that, because for a long, long time, women's wrestling was going down the wrong path, especially when you had very talented women wrestlers who were not allowed to show off their talent. They had to show off their tits instead. So I'm glad that things have turned better. It's no longer like that. You can still look, men's wrestling, you got these Adonises there. You know, they're fucking half naked, but they do wrestling, and people can still admire them for being very, you know, handsome guys with amazing physiques. And we can still do the same for the women's wrestling, but let them be wrestlers as well.
Well, that's
what
what
I mean.
at the end of the day, that's what we're there for. Like,
Yeah.
we are supposed to be there to watch entertainment. If you want what any of this stuff is, go to a strip club. Like, I mean,
for real.
Yeah.
Like that's what one of my biggest gripes with the Attitude Era was the way that they demeaned women like this in these matches. I hated every single one of them. I didn't think any of them were entertaining, and I am glad that they all got what they had coming to them with Mae Young, you know, in that evening gown match.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when Vince did that segment with Trish, I know it wasn't a match, but that segment with Trish, I'm like, that was over the line. How did he green light it? He should have. I don't know. That was over the line. That was
He was
great.
hanging around with Donald Trump too much, so he probably got influenced by him when it came to you know, treating his staff like sex objects.
Yeah.
So
And
Well,
then
it almost seemed like some of the models, even when they started to wrestle a little bit better, like Christy Hemme, Candice Michelle actually towards the end of her run was
She actually was
put
really
out some
good.
decent
she
matches.
broke her collarbone and she was never the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, she fell off the ropes and that was it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it just seems like, you know, like they just don't. And I mean, that might be her thing. I didn't realize that she broke her collarbone, but you know, it seems like once these people start to actually get like their ring wherewithal together, then that's when they start to not push them anymore. And it's like back then.
Yeah.
Well, you actually had some decent women wrestlers like Molly Holly and stuff who were there basically to put the other women over.
I thought, and then, speaking of Molly Holly, this is one big fuck you I got to give to WWE. Like, okay, they made fun of Molly Holly for being a virgin. That was so fucked up. Like, I'm like, do we really have to be that mean-spirited? I mean, do we really have to be that mean-spirited as a company?
Well, that's the company for you. They change their morals on a dime. You know, I mean, they have none. You know, I mean, you see how 1 minute they go this particular way, and then they go that particular way. You know, it's just about not getting sued, really, and stuff like that, or what their audience may be. They really don't have a particular moral standing. And you can just tell by watching when you see someone like Vince McMahon and how he operates and some of the stories you hear, it makes total sense. So,
and people are going to have to understand too, because I know it's like I still hear to this day they need to bring back the Attitude Era. If they brought back the Attitude Era, I guarantee you, all you Twitter trolls would be bitching about how it's not as good as the original. I can guarantee y'all would.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad the Attitude. As I said, I like WWE more in the like 2005 plus era.
Yeah,
I know it was PG, but at the same time, they made some really significant changes in their, like, you know, they didn't do as many chair shots, and I know that they've more than done them away now, which is good. But like they did really pull back on the chair shots. They, you know, they stopped doing like the demoralizing matches. Not all of them, but enough. That it was. I mean,
the Benoit incident of 2007. I don't care what anyone says. The Benoit incident invoked the change in WWE. It wasn't Linda McMahon's Senate run. Linda McMahon's Senate run was part of it, but Benoit was the start of the PG era on an unofficial level. And thank God that, you know, we don't see chair shots. You know, I know people are like, they need to bring back blood. I'm like, if you want blood, go play the video games, because that's where you're going to get your fill. But
go watch UFC, because when they bleed for real. Like,
go watch the UFC if you want that kind of stuff. Like,
regarding like New Jack with like scars all over his forehead.
Regarding the Attitude Era, though, it was just really shock value. I mean, when shock value had an impact, like after because, you know, prior to that, it was like the PG Hulk Hogan era. He left, they went down a different route. Saw how ECW was making its mark. Thought, we'll have a piece of that.
Yeah, they're doing the new generation stuff.
Exactly. Made it because their fans were growing up, and so they had to basically, adjust for the sake of the fans being older and not kids anymore, and that's what they did. But shock value is not shock value anymore. Anything, people do everything and anything nowadays. You can't shock people anymore. Yeah. So that had its time, and now people want to see fucking actual wrestling, and that's what we're getting now. Because sometimes when you get these golden oldies from the Attitude Era, maybe Undertaker aside and Shawn Michaels aside, they're really not that amazing. I mean, look, when The Rock came back, I wasn't blown away, and I used to think he was a great wrestler. Yeah, obviously his comebacks weren't that great.
And now they're talking about Stone Cold coming back. I'm like,
please.
Why?
I'm really hoping he doesn't. I don't care what he gets.
That's why. Yeah, that's why back when I was watching back in the Attitude Era and all the and the early to mid 2000s, it was like that's why my favorite wrestlers were like Bret Hart, the one we should not speak of. He was
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he was my
technical guys.
second favorite wrestler of all
Eddie
time.
Guerrero, Chris
Yeah.
Jericho.
Chris
Yeah.
Jericho,
Yeah. Jushin
Dean
Thunder,
Malenko
like a
was
lot of the
there.
Japanese wrestlers, you know, and the Latino wrestlers like
Benjamin.
Hiroshi Guerrera,
Yep.
and you know all that. You know, Dean Malenko was really good. You know, all these guys. You know,
Shelton Benjamin and
the WCW cruiserweights were the best.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
that's something
the
that'll
cruiserweight
never be
division.
matched again. Yeah,
Yeah,
the cruiserweight division of WCW is something that they'll never be able to.
yeah, exactly. You know, and the fucking WWE just made it into a circus act.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And they gave Hornswoggle the cruiserweight title. I knew it was over. I'm like, oh man.
yeah.
Vince can't help himself. He just needs to shit on things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He needs to shit on
He
things.
needs to be a bully, whether it to be a demographic of people or whether it be a division of wrestlers. He needs to bully somebody, and that's what it boils.
Yeah,
women. He likes to demean these women. I mean, do you remember the Piggy James incident?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He greenlights this stuff, so it's like he's always got to be like bullying somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember what CM Punk started to say during his segment? They cut him off. He's like you want to talk about the big? It's funny about anti-bullying because let me tell you about Vince McMahon, and then they cut his mic.
Yep.
Well, they had that anti-bullying charity, and then he brought up the fact that they were bullies, which you constantly hear about, and Punk was going to go there and stuff like that. But he really likes to shit on what the fans want. Oh, the fans want cruiserweights. Okay, fine, we'll give you cruiserweights, and then we'll fuck it over. You know what I mean? We won't try to achieve anything with it. We're going to fuck it over, and we're going to give you big, sweaty men again. You know, yeah. Vince McMahon, man.
I died
giving people what they want. He hates it.
I died during the Pat McAfee interview where he was like, "Yeah, we don't dictate to our audience." I'm like, "Yeah, bullshit. You don't dictate to your audience. Who the fuck is your audience?"
Vince McMahon's the worst gimmick in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Nowadays, it's all about writing for an audience of one anyway. So
yeah, it always has been.
Yep.
I agree with that. It's just the audience has changed and Vince McMahon has not.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up. Rabbit trails aside. So that's our top 10 worst gimmick matches of all time. Maybe we'll come back and do our top 10 gimmick matches of all time. I don't know. With all that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Well, me and Zam and everything. Just thanks for being here. And if you have not already, please consider liking this video, leaving a comment of your worst or your least favorite gimmick matches of all time. WWE, TNA, ECW, XPW. Who knows? Yep. Just specify which one it is. And with that all being said, consider subscribing to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you maybe kind of sort of heard of.
We're climbing. Yeah.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.